Hey everybody, let's go back to Colorado again. Now I did a couple other videos on Colorado. I'll put them in the description, and they illustrate what I want to talk about in today's video. So we got migrants, we got dogs, we got citizens that are getting taxed more and more. Taxed with money and taxed with bites and attacks. So in this story called Pikes Peak Humane Society Seeks Dangerous Dog Ordinance, they tell us a story about the dog attacks are up to 4,000. I'm sorry, the dangerous dog incidents, as they call them, they're up to 4,000 from 2,000. So they've doubled, according to this story. And there's quite a few other stories and people from El Paso County that have brought this up, including a lot of people that have been bitten. So this isn't just like a one-off. So they say the solution to this is stronger penalties for dog owners. So instead of reducing the amount of dogs, instead of educating the citizens that dogs are not this great cure for anxiety, they're just going to tax the citizens more. The citizens that have already been taxed with false marketing, the citizens that have already been taxed by having to pay for humane societies and pay for all these dog bites. So this increases government. This minimizes the citizen's choice. The citizens should have an educated choice on whether to have a dog or not. However, they're not given that choice. And then they pay the price 3 times because of all this. You see, our citizens in Colorado and across the nation, this is the type of propaganda and marketing that they see. My dog is not just a dog. He keeps me happy. He is my therapist. Yet every community that has more and more dogs has more and more terrible things going on in them. So this is pure propaganda. Yet those people in Colorado, they have to sit here and absorb this into their brain all day. Meanwhile, they have to suffer more financially, and then more penalties for their dogs biting people. Yet meanwhile, we're telling them that a dog is a precious pupper, cuddle bug. Why don't you be a fur daddy and watch all your problems melt away? So our people in Pikes Peak County and everywhere else, they get false marketing, they get dogs, they pay for their dogs, then their dogs bite somebody, then they have to pay for that, then they have to get the government to come in and propose new penalties. How about you just reduce the amount of dogs, either by getting rid of them or by telling your citizens the truth about dogs? They're a fanged predator that is designed to kill and eat meat and should not be in your home. The possibility of larger fines. So they're just going to collect more money. This is just a way to rake in more money off of the citizens. Give them dogs that are supposed to be little cuddle bunnies. Watch the cuddle bunnies bite people, and now you have a reason to go take more of their money. This is taxing the citizens like at least 3 times, if not more. They sell you the problem, pretending that it's a solution to your life problems. Then when the problem does not work, then they fine you for having a problem. It's just a huge grift on these poor people in Colorado. So instead of telling people all the dangers of dogs, they're going to write in a whole bunch more laws to fix the problem. All these laws are going to cost the taxpayers more, and in the end, people will break these new laws and ordinances, and then they will get more money collected from them. And the reason I mention Colorado needs to be truthful with their people about dogs, instead of giving them more dogs and fining them more, is because Colorado already has a well-published problem with dogs. Attacks on mail carriers, Home Depot attacks, women being attacked in restaurants, children being attacked. Boulder, Colorado, there's attacks all over the place. Even the police dogs are causing problems over there in Colorado. Not just attacks, but they have a feces problem in Colorado. Colorado has one of the worst dog feces problems. All over the place, they're even talking about taking down public parks and not letting people go there because they're too full of dog poop. And the next segue that I want to talk to you guys about is Colorado is constantly bringing in dogs from other states, such as Texas. This video right here will be in the description. My video on that will be in the description. So Colorado is bringing in thousands and thousands of dogs from other states. And the citizens get taxed for that. And so if you know something else about what's going on in Colorado right now, 2024, Colorado is also bringing in something else that taxes their citizens. They're also bringing something else that allows the government to tax their citizens even more for the problems that Colorado is bringing in. So wherever we find a Democrat-run state, we find migrant problems, dog problems, and other problems. And I'll illustrate that to you right now. And if you're feeling like you're going to be upset with me for my opinion on migrants, just watch till the end because I'll explain this all to you. I'm just going to show you a quick example of what the Democrats of Colorado want to do to solve their current migrant problem, and then I'll show you how that's exactly what we're doing with dogs.
Or click the link in the description below. But the mayor of Denver has other ideas, idiotic ideas, like all Democrats.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I mean, I think we have been pushing really hard that there are 3 key items we need right now. We definitely need the Congress to take action on $1 for support for cities. That's key. I think the second.
Okay, so he wants more money from everyone else in America to solve their migrant problem. Okay.
We need more work authorization for folks that are arriving to our cities. The biggest issue is we have folks here who want to work and are not able.
Okay, work authorization. Okay, that kind of seems legit. But what do they do with dogs? They say they're kind of doing the same thing. They're saying a dog is going to be your PTSD counselor, your buddy, your best friend. They're giving dogs essentially work authorization to be your friends, your buddy, your son, your brother, fur daddy. But those work authorizations that we give dogs, they're false, and those work authorizations with dogs never work.
To work. And the third is we need their help on a plan for coordinated entry, so we don't have just the governor of one state deciding where all new.
Okay, he just said a plan for coordinated entry. I mentioned this in my other video. States all across America that have a ton of nasty, sick, stray dogs that have been known to bite people and maul children, those dogs are rounded up and brought to other states. Texas dogs are brought to Oregon. Texas dogs are brought to Utah and Colorado. All states where dog bites and dangerous dog incidents keep going up. And another thing that goes up in those states that bring dogs, problem dogs from other states, another thing that goes up in these states is this. Utah, Ohio, Colorado, they bring in dogs from other states. And in those states where dogs are supposed to be these best friends, these are the states where these sex traffickers go and do stuff. So that's not a good thing. Let's watch the rest of our little clip.
Comers go, but actually a coordinated plan nationwide for all of our cities and states to be a part of the solution. And we think those 3 things can actually help us be very successful. We just need the.
Yeah, all the cities and states being part of the solution. That is exactly like Texas with all of its tens of thousands of stray dogs, shipping them to other states.
Those 3 things from Congress to be able to succeed here at the city level.
So instead of enforcing the laws that have been in the books for decades by preventing millions and millions of illegal aliens from invading the country and detaining them and then dumping them south of the border if they do happen to get in, he wants our tax dollars to go to them so they can get free EBT cards, get put up in hotels.
Yes, they want our tax dollars to go to them. Now, whatever your position is on these migrants, don't take offense to what I'm saying, because even right now, if we took every single migrant that's in Colorado and we kicked all of the Colorado Americans out, these migrants would still have to they would still have to deal with sorry about that. They would still have to deal with these dangerous dogs that are all over the place. So in the case of our dangerous dogs, the state of Colorado pushes more dogs on more citizens that don't need dogs, and then they tax the citizens for owning dogs. And that's the same thing they're doing with the Colorado migrants. They're taxing the citizens for all these migrants, and those citizens in Colorado, they got their own stuff to pay for. Here's a quick example of something. So in Colorado, the migrants, they did a bully beatdown on these police officers. Looks like they clobbered them pretty good. I'm not going to bother showing it all to you. However, according to the story, these migrants that beat the cops, beat them up, they were also arrested earlier for biting someone in a clothing restaurant. So the migrants are beating up people, biting people, and then getting released back into the public. The same thing that happens in our dangerous dog stories. The dogs bite people, and then the Humane Society can't do anything about it. They demand bigger laws for it, and these dogs get released back to families, rehomed, put somewhere else, and then the dogs bite somebody again. And like, we don't know the history of these dogs. The Humane Society admits that they don't know the history of the dogs. So they just take the dog, release it, and then it bites somebody else until finally it bites enough people that it gets a dangerous dog listing put on it. And the same is true for the way that these states, these dog-loving states, they also treat migrants the same way. The migrants do something, the migrants are part of sex trafficking or drug trafficking, they spend a little bit of time in jail, and they get kicked back out into the street. The same thing that they do with dangerous dogs. And guess who has to pay for it? The police officers' families, the established citizens. You know, the people that are in these areas that want to go to the subway and they want to go hang out in public, they're afraid to hang out in public because they're watching police officers get beat down. What happens, you know, if a police officer's getting beat down, then you don't want to be there. That's kind of scary. It's just like what dogs do in public. In this video, it's one of many. These people are hanging out in public and they get attacked by a dog. So who wants to hang out in public if you're getting attacked by a dog? The same thing with the migrants. Who wants to hang out in public if you're watching your police officers get their butts handed to them? So what do you guys think about all that? If you want to watch my prequel to this little issue, my Colorado field trip video will be in the description. It seems to me like wherever we find these states that are just loving dogs, we find a bunch of other problems. They don't really care about their citizens, and the states that are importing dogs from all over the place are the same states that are just full of, some of the worst problems. So there it is. Hope you guys like it. See you on the next one.